And you have 7 minutes remaining.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I was encouraged to hear a couple of points here about free market, and with regard to the housing shortage, I was grateful to get numbers. I think it was Representative Van Beber made the point we were 54,000 units short in Colorado. So let's go back to the free market and why that ought to be fixing this problem instead of another government grant program. We have got to get inflation under control and building supply costs under control. And if we did that, it would mitigate the housing unit shortage. Let me give a straight up example here. I don't know how many of y'all have purchased 5/8 inch OSB oriented strand board. It's a plywood equivalent. As a guy who spent time in the timber industry, I find it a revolting product personally. I can't stand the smell of it, the feel of it, the strength of it, how it deteriorates. I pine for the 5-ply AC plywood days. But it used to be $7 a sheet. Not too many years ago, $7 a sheet. So you could buy 5/8 inch OSB, and you could put up a lot of walls with it. Well, now it's $50 a sheet for the same trash. We call it beaver board. It's just a bunch of chips mashed together, and the lignins in the wood and a little bit of glue hold it together. It's not a laminate. $50 a sheet. It's what you get out the far end of your wood chipper.
Is this to the bill, Representative Hanks?
It is in the sense, Mr. Speaker, that we have 54,000 units that we're short. How can you build new units when it's $50 per 32 square feet of wall? It seems to me we're building a government program that's costing money, but the government program that's costing us money is causing us the inflation. And at some point we have to cut the chain here. If OSB, frankly, if we had
we're still straying a little bit away from the bill, Representative Hanks.
Well, what I'm trying to say is, if concrete didn't cost as much as it does now, if wood didn't cost as much as it does now, if all the building supplies were available, we wouldn't be 54,000 units short. These mobile homes wouldn't be, they'd be a transitional thing. Now, I want to say something about that. Most people don't stay in a mobile home park forever, but I will tell you this, that's the power of the freedom of choice. I know a lot of great people. Medal of Honor winners. I've met more interesting people probably in mobile home parks, but the point is, for most people, it's transitional. If they want to stay there, great. But we have now a program that makes these an imperative part of our economic policy because government policy has jammed up the cost of building supplies. And where this might have, for most people, been a transitional, now we're struggling to keep them in that program. Were inflation not at 8.5%, or in the case of OSB, a sheet is 7 times what you used to pay for it, we could build some pretty decent houses. Habitat for Humanity homes, single-family ranchers. This is an inflationary policy stacked on top of another inflationary policy, and all we're going to get out of it are more grants and more programs that add to the very inflationary problems we already have. I urge a no vote. We need to have a supply chain back in place that can make building houses affordable, and then that renders programs like this obsolete.
Thank you, Representative.